Hello and welcome to more flight raising tutorials. Hope you're doing good today. Today I'll be telling you little tidbits what you can do with individual dragons. So, first thing is, I already explained in the video that you can add a familiar and bond with them to receive treasure. You can add apparel and skins. Now, other things. And also a bit more information because I feel that might be missing. So, this is a hatchling of a pearl catcher. Now, when you're looking for pearl catchers, say for example in the auction house or any other dragon species, and you see hatchlings, or you get a hatchling nest and you're curious, hey, will this even look good when it grows up? You can always copy its ID, which is under its name. In this case it's still unnamed. You can copy it, go to the Scrying Workshop. Now you see here assay bloodlines, foresee progeny, and predict morphology. You click predict morphology. You see a box down here below. You paste the ID in there and you load the dragon. So you see the same dragon is shown here. And if you're curious how it will look when it's grown up, you press dragon. Predict. This is how this dragon will look once it's grown up. Now you can do this for any other dragon, or if you're curious in how your dragon will look with gene swapping, which I also explained in a previous video, then you can always edit the genes in this, or even the colors, and see how the dragon will look after you would have put on a gene scroll or maybe a color change. Or if you're just looking for a perfect dragon, you can mess about with all the settings in here. See, what if I change this to lavender? Predict. There, it will look all purpley and stuff. So that's one of the things you can do. Another thing, besides the exalt button, you can also of course auction it, which means you're gonna sell the hatchling or dragon in the auction house. Yeah, like I said, apparel and skins you can add. You can see here its lineage, who are its parents, and if it would have any offspring, it will be listed here. You can press the breed button once it's ready to breed, once it's grown up, and the breeding cooldown has passed. So if I would hover with the mouse over the egg with the crossover, it will say this dragon will not be available to breed for 19 days. So in a couple of days it will grow up, and after that there will still be a couple of days left until it can actually breed with another dragon. Now another thing you can also do is generate code. Say for example you want to post your dragon, the image of your dragon in a forum. You can copy the BB code, which is right here. It will link and show the image of the dragon in question. Underneath here is also the HTML code if you need that, and of course all kinds of other buttons and tidbits. As of which I'll explain briefly what all these things in the top are. Basically this will show that whether the dragon is breedable or not, and if you hover with the button over it, as below here, it will show how many days are left until it can breed. The squirrel beside that indicates if it has a familiar attached to it or not. As of which, if you want to exalt or sell your dragon, auction your dragon, you won't be able to do so if it has apparel, skins, or familiar attached to it, so you need to remove all of that. But don't worry, it will usually show a message prior to doing so. If you however want to send the dragons over through Crossroads, I'll show that in a minute how it's done, then it will not give the warning, but the user you're going to send the dragon to will not be able to accept it because your dragon is still wearing all those things. So you need to take off the familiar and the apparel or skins or accents that you've attached to your dragon before the other user can accept it. Besides the squirrel icon, there is this stone thingy, indicating its element or flight from which it was hatched. This dragon, you can also see, has yellow eyes, a yellow iris, and that indicates that it's from the light flight. And you can also see that by this stone. It's a light dragon. And finally, but not least, whether it indicates it's a male or a female dragon. You can also name your dragon. You can randomize and accept, or you can type in your own name. I'm not sure yet what to name it, but once it's named, you can only change it by applying a renaming scroll to it. Otherwise, it's permanent. And last but not least, what else you can do with your dragons is add your own information. It works with the BB coding, so that means, say for example, you want to state its name, I don't know, we'll make up a fancy setup. You can use these buttons on the top as well. This will make it bold, italic, underlined, do stuff with it, put it to the left, center it, put it to the right, add a link, add an image, ordered list, unordered list, yes. So when you hover over it, you also see what it means. What's it called? Yes, quote, those kinds of things, codes, yes, or strike through. You can always press those buttons. You can always type it yourself if you want to. So, there you go. And you can always, by the way, add color is, oh, I don't know. I'm gonna choose that so you can see, because I wanted to do yellow, but, oh, and color. There we go. And say we want this all centered, you could use the coding, but you, like I said, you can also press the buttons. So press, then you'll see center, opening, center, closing, and then you submit, and here you go. You will see it as it is in the information box. And I have one more tidbit knowledge of dragons and hatching, because I feel I might have forgotten that in previous videos. If you want a dragon with a certain eye color, you will need to either change your flight or give your two dragons that you want to breed to someone else with the flight that you want their eye color of. What does this mean? If you're in the wind flight, like me, for example, and you want a dragon with yellow eyes, you want a light dragon in other words, you can't hatch that yourself. Why? Because all nests that you will hatch in your own lair will have accumulated, according to the lore, will have accumulated the wind element, the wind magic. So they will have green eyes. We'll show you an example. A dragon that was hatched in my lair has bright green eyes, indicating its wind, and you can see that also by its element stone thingy here. When you hover over it, it says wind dragon. Even though it's one of its parents is a dragon from a different element, nature. And even then, if you have two dragons of completely different elements, it will still hatch wind. As said, any dragons that you hatch in your flight currently will be of that flight. So I cannot get this dragon as it is unless I would have maybe let my dragons breed and hatch in a different lair. So that's just a bit of information. If you want to know all the colors and whatnot, I'll quickly go through this. Otherwise, you can just stop the video, but now I'm just gonna show quickly the element eye colors. And I think the best way to do that is actually copy a dragon and show it in the... Wait, no. I'll go to the Scrying Workshop. Watch this. You can also change the elements. So, for example, we see here a random dragon now shown. And say we want to change its element to earth. It will have dark brown eyes. Will it be plague? It will have red eyes. Wind, light green eyes. Water, dark blue. Lightning, kind of light blue. Ice will be white or very, very light blue. Shadow will be purple. Light will be, as you know, light yellow or gold. Arcane will show pink eyes. Nature will show green eyes. And fire will show orange eyes. So that was this video for today. Hope you thought it was helpful. Let me know in the comments below and see you next video. Goodbye.